We had mentioned that developments of matter and their ability to serve the evolutions of spirits are only possible with influences. Now, we need to dwell on influences as much as necessary and to give knowledge regarding them. In introducing the topic of influences, we will again mention spirit-matter relations. Spirit's need for evolution is a necessity, and matter's ability to respond this need is, again, a necessity. However, neither can spirits directly send anything to matter, nor they can receive something from it. If that was all, the raison d'être of the matter universe, which is the imperative of the purpose of evolution, would be no more. However, for evolution the realization of the relation of spirit, matter is imperative in accordance with sublime necessities. So, these necessities are rendered through the manifestations of the original principle, which directly governs and comprises both the spirits beyond universe and the universes, as material influences in the universe. The realization of necessities in matter means the execution of the functions of influences by the value differentiation mechanism. Therefore, it is necessary to give knowledge, to the appropriate degree, about the influences pertaining to these spirit-matter relations which are an enigma of the universe, which has not so far been solved in the world. Influences using the motion possibilities of universe substance in infinite numbers and forms, again, in accordance with the evolutionary needs of spirits, and bringing out all the manifestations of the matter universe, again, with the same purpose, by executing their functions meet the needs of the spirit realm. That is, every motion, every change and every development in matter which is necessary for the evolution of spirits is only provided by these influences. About the original principle, which is the great truth higher than the spirits and universes and governing both, we cannot say much. For, this is outside all knowledge, and even of our intuitions. The original principle reflects with its force all the evolutionary needs of spirits for universe substances, and reflects the reactions of the universe substances in the face of these needs back to spirits. This force put the universe substances, which brought into existence in the face of the needs of spirits, into service by innumerable vehicles and ways in universe. And this sublime force is manifested in the universe with influences which are in states of the subtlest substances. So, these influences carrying the sublime necessities permeate every point in the universe, from its whole to its smallest particle, and do their functions. Matter substance takes form, develops, assembles, disperses, goes through formations, deformations and transformations in accordance with these functions, and in this way, the whole and parts of universe are consigned and managed in accordance with the needs of spirits. This, as well, of course, is executed through various mechanisms, lower and higher, and with principles of duty within the universe. These influences bridging the way between spirit and universe appear in 4 groups. 2 of these are original influences, directly arriving from outside the universe. That is, they are influences coming from the original principle. The other 2 are secondary influences that have ensued from modification of the original influences, after going through various treatments within matter and beings. We can only understand the advancing parts of the powers coming from the original source, as influence. The true disposition and states of the ones that remain outside the universe are unknown for the universe's inhabitants. Those at the first part of the original influences are the manifestations of powers reflecting the needs of spirits to the universe, and their reactions in the universe to spirits again. These are influences that are coming in directly, belonging to spirits. And those at the second part are the influences entering the universe from the original principle, for the formation, deformation and transformation of the crude matter, which are of necessity and imperative for individual and communal evolution in the universe. Influences arriving in the universe belonging to spirits and seen in the first part are, although arriving, again, from the original source, expressions a piece of the spirit's behaviors and needs. These powers, sent from the original principle to reflect the universe and spirits to each other, and by this, to ensure evolution, participate in certain structures and mechanisms of beings and bodies which are assigned to spirits. These influences, when entering the universe, arrive at the unity of beings and necessities at the uppermost evolutionary boundary of the universe that we call the unitary. And from there, as regulated, they head towards a body in the milieu they will reach. Because these influences are directly pertaining to evolution, that is, because they ensure the connection between spirits and beings, we also call them evolutionary values. As to the powers that arise from the original principle in order to render the evolutionary necessities of spirits, and to put crude matter and universe constitutions into proper forms, they are, by also descending to the unitary from the outside of the universe, apportioned and distributed to the whole and parts of the universe as sublime influences, in order to prepare and enforce cosmoses, spheres, beings and matter in accordance with the necessities of individual and communal evolution, which we call prime influences or prime values. These ensure the bringing of matter, objects, spheres, systems, nebulae and cosmoses into existence in any matter milieu, by building a nucleus through gathering parts of that milieu around a point and attracting other parts around it and generating matter constitutions. Influences at the third degree are, unlike first basic influences, not directly arriving from outside of the universe in accordance with the necessities of the original principle, but influences which are transferred to the exterior of the body by the bodies, that is, by the beings that exist at certain stages in universe. Actually, these influences, having come as well from the original sources, are quite altered and have lost their basic value after being utilized by any body and reflected outside of the body, as low quality relative to its actual value. Here, this expression of low quality should not be underrated. For, there is nothing like small and huge scale in any manifestations of the needs of the original principle. The meaning implied by this expression of low quality means the necessities of adjusting influences in accordance with the milieus and aims they will advance in. The sending of high influence into a simple matter combination is not appropriate, nor do weak influences benefit very complex matter combinations. All of these are adjusted by the technical mechanisms being carried out by necessities. It is easy to see examples of these influences in the third degree among the influences mankind have on each other. Influences in the fourth degree are the values that become crude quantitatively. These are crude influences, stored as completely altered after prime influences used in a matter combination and used in automatic activities, when necessary. For example, the execution of automatic activities within a material system or in a body is done by using these stored influences. The magnetic fields of matter, which we previously declared, are within the scope of these influences. We previously mentioned that a prime influence coming from above brings out matter constitution, by constituting a focus in the center of matter and gathering matter parts around it, and after going through various alterations in that matter, it starts to be transmitted outside of that matter, having been transformed into a low-quality energy, which is called the magnetic field of that matter. Similarly, we have said that the influence matter and bodies exert on each other is possible by the exchange of these magnetic fields as a result of contacts with each other. For example, if a being, A, wishes to accomplish some changes and manifestations in the structure of matter, B, it contacts its magnetic field which contains its own influences with the magnetic field of that matter. These influences, which have transmitted from the magnetic field of matter to its structure, cause the demanded motions and results occurring in that matter, in degree, direction, form and dosage determined by the being, A. In the same way, a hypnotist's ability to mesmerize a man and to carry out some modifications on his physical, physiological and psychological states occurs again in the same manner. That is, he influences him by contacting his own magnetic field with the magnetic field of his subject. Likewise, in a spiritism session, materialization phenomena called ectoplasm by mankind occur as well, as a result of influences sent by incorporeal beings, contacting their magnetic fields with the magnetic field of the medium and transmitted from this field to the medium's body, bringing out material changes, dispersions, gatherings. Again, physical mediums' influence on things, telepathies, sympathies, antipathies, transmissions and other such material phenomena among individuals, always occurs through this mechanism. That is, all of these occur by generating various transformations in matter combinations with influences upon magnetic fields, which are connected to them. We also mentioned previously that the occurrence of great natural events such as an earthquake, the eruption of a volcano, or the emergence of a flood is ensured through influences sent to the magnetic field of Earth by beings in duty. Other than these influences we have listed, there are some simple influences, simple values which are cruder and pertinent in the secondary degree to these influences. For example, influences like chemical reactions occurring in a body, medicine given to patients, which we call crude charges or crude values, because they are even cruder relative to the value differentiations of the duality unit of an atom, even of a molecule.